What's up guys, Lon here from Android Authority, and well, it looks like Nokia is back, and they're back with 3 new Android phones. We have the Nokia 6, the Nokia 5, and the Nokia 3, and the great thing about these is that no matter which one you pick, you're getting some excellent build quality, with the 6 and 5 being machined out of a single block of aluminum, while the 3 features an aluminum frame with the polycarbonate back. They're also all running Android Nougat, and it's a completely stock build of Nougat. Nokia kept it this way to keep the experience clean and simple, and to make it easier to keep up with Google's monthly security updates. The best part is you get Google Assistant built in across the entire lineup, the same Google Assistant we've seen on Google's Pixel phones and Google Home. The Nokia 6 is the biggest out of the bunch and also has the highest specs. It's got a 5.5-inch 1080p display, 3 gigabytes of RAM, 32 gigs of onboard storage, and it's being powered by a Snapdragon 430 processor. There's an 8 megapixel front-facing shooter and a 16 megapixel camera on the rear with dual-tone LED flash, and it also features dual speakers with Dolby Atmos driving the audio experience. It'll be available in 4 colors with matte black, silver, tempered blue, and copper, but there's also a limited edition art black version that's glossy and comes with 4 gigabytes of RAM and double the internal storage. The Nokia 5 sits squarely in the middle of the pack with a 5.2-inch IPS HD display, 2 gigs of RAM, 16 gigs of storage, and the same Snapdragon 430 processor. It's got a 13 megapixel camera on the rear, an 8 megapixel camera on the front, and comes in the same 4 matte color options as the Nokia 6. The only other real difference here between the Nokia 5 and 6, aside from the specs, is that the design is a rounded metal body, whereas the Nokia 6 has sharp and distinct edges with the flat sides all around. The Nokia 3 rounds out the lineup with a 5-inch screen, 2 gigs of RAM, 16 gigs of internal storage, and 8 megapixel cameras on both the front and the rear, but instead of a Snapdragon processor like the Nokia 5 and 6, the Nokia 3 features a MediaTek quad-core processor instead. If you want a small phone, this is definitely the one to get, as it's the easiest one to use in one hand, and despite having a polycarbonate back and not being fully made of metal, the build quality is still pretty solid. The Nokia 6 has been available in China for quite some time now, but the entire lineup will be available globally in Q2 of this year, starting at €229 for the Nokia 6, €189 for the Nokia 5, and €139 for the Nokia 3, although whether any of these devices will be coming to the US is still a question mark at this point. For more on Nokia's new line of Android-powered smartphones and the rest of our Mobile World Congress 2017 coverage, check us out at AndroidAuthority.com, your source for all things Android.